More than $1 billion in interceptor missiles and related munitions were expended by the U.S. Navy and allies in countering Houthi threats in the Red Sea and broader Middle East operations through 2024 to 2025, with estimates approaching or exceeding this figure in cumulative costs. Not to invade a country, not to seize territory, but simply to shoot down drones and missiles that often cost less than $50,000 each. Every successful interception protected ships and assets, yet every interception also burned through millions of dollars. Imagine pouring expensive water into a bucket that leaks from the bottom. The defense works, but the cost never stops. So the real question becomes unavoidable. Who will bear the brunt of the consequences first? You or the generations to come? One company sits at the center of this missile economy. RTX, formerly Raytheon Technologies. The company produces interceptors such as the SM-2, SM-6, and supports Patriot systems used in naval and missile defense. Some scale indicators. Annual revenue, over $88 billion, 2025 figures. Employees, approximately 180,000 globally. Missile defense contracts worth tens of billions of dollars. To visualize that scale, RTX's annual revenue alone is roughly comparable to the GDP of many mid-sized nations. Each interceptor missile produced can cost between $2 million and $10+ million, depending on the system. For example, SM-2, approximately $2 million. SM-6, approximately $4 to $10 million. Patriot PAC-3 MSE, approximately $3.7 to $4.2 million. Which means a single evening of defensive launches at sea can burn through the equivalent of several years of wages for thousands of workers. This is not simply military technology. It is industrial-scale finance embedded inside weapons systems. Zoom out further. The global missile defense industry is highly concentrated. A handful of companies dominate production. RTX, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, BAE Systems. Together, these firms control a large share of advanced missile defense manufacturing. Production is complex. Missiles require advanced radar seekers, classified guidance electronics, solid rocket motors, specialized materials. Manufacturing timelines often stretch 18 to 24 months per interceptor. Annual production volumes remain limited, though ramping up rapidly due to demand. For example, global production of Patriot PAC-3 MSE interceptors reached around 620 units in 2025, with plans to scale towards 650+ short-term and up to 2,000 per year by end of decade under new agreements. That constraint matters, because the new threat, cheap drones, operates under a completely different economic model. High-cost institutions become less flexible. Low-cost challengers become more scalable. Now that dynamic has entered warfare. Cheap drones built from commercial components are the equivalent of economic guerrilla warfare. This structure did not appear overnight. For decades, military doctrine prioritized technological superiority. The assumption was simple: better weapons guarantee victory. Defense procurement evolved accordingly. Budgets favored fewer systems, extremely advanced capabilities, high unit cost. During the Cold War, this made sense. Threats came from advanced missiles and aircraft, not disposable drones. But by the early 2020s, a new model emerged. Platforms such as Shahed 136 demonstrated something different. They were mass manufacturable, disposable, built partly from commercial electronics. Estimated cost ranges between $20,000 and $50,000, basic production. Export or upgraded variants can reach $70,000 plus. Some simplified variants cost even less. The strategic logic changed. Precision mattered less. Volume mattered more. In finance, a negative carry trade occurs when maintaining a position costs more than the income it generates. Imagine borrowing money at 8% interest to buy an asset earning 3%. You lose money simply by holding it. Now translate that into military terms. Each drone launch may cost $20,000 to $50,000. Each interceptor response may cost $2 to $10 million. For example, SM-2/SM-6/Patriot variants. The cost-exchange ratio becomes roughly 1 to 100 to 1 to 200 or higher in many cases, which means the attacker does not even need to hit the target. They only need to force the defender to fire. Victory becomes economic, not tactical. If these incentives remain unchanged, the next decade may look very different. Drone production is scaling rapidly. Commercial electronic supply chains make it easy to manufacture thousands. Meanwhile, interceptor missiles remain slower and more expensive to produce, though production is ramping significantly. For example, Patriot toward 2,000 per year. The likely response is already visible. Military programs are now experimenting with laser defenses, electronic warfare systems, low-cost counter-drones. Some new drone interceptors are designed to cost $30,000 to $50,000, closer to the price of the threat. Because the strategic goal is no longer perfection. It is cost symmetry. But every defensive innovation invites a new asymmetric response. Because in the end, those million-dollar bills for a few seconds of interception today won't just vanish. They are simply waiting to be delivered to the doorstep of the generations to come.